Okay, let me show you guys a few ways in which we use Zapier to help with our lead generation. So going into the back end of lead identity check, you would set your filters up as normal. So I have here Facebook ads and Google ads. So let's focus on the Facebook ads example. And I typically like to have my settings, my filter settings like this. So I want to make sure that the phone number matches the name of the lead. And I want to give that a percentage score of 68 or higher. That's the likelihood percentage, which is about the sweet spot that I found for a legit lead. And then you want to make sure that the phone number has seen recent activity. So we'll set that to yes. Typically, if this response comes up no, so if it runs the check and the phone has not seen recent activity, chances are that person's not going to answer the phone, and it's pretty much a bad or dead lead. So here's our settings, and then we'll go over to Zapier. And you would create a new Zap, you would load up your Facebook lead ads account and the proper form, and then you would set lead identity check as step 2, and then you would load up, you would map your field. So we got the first name, the last name, and then the phone number of the person. Hit continue, and then you would test the step. And it looks like the phone number matches the name of the user with a likelihood score of 76. The phone has seen recent activity, and the master response of how you set your lead settings over here is a pass. So the lead satisfied both of these criteria, so it's going to give you a master response of pass. Okay, so now we can go here and we can set up paths. And there's a lot you can do with this. Typically, if you're running a large agency, like a call center, then you can separate the real leads and the fake leads, and you can send your fake leads to maybe newer agents, something like that, where you want them to just work that call over and over, and you want to send better leads to your good agents. So you would send them down this path. So you would well, let's just go through it. So here we're going to send our real leads, and we can rename this to, and just do pass, hit continue, and then this can be fail, set up the conditions. Or we can just do does not contain pass. There's a lot of ways you can do this. So then down this path, you might have a CRM that you want to load up, maybe HubSpot. You would send it there. But in this example, let's just do a Google Sheet. All right, then we'll create a spreadsheet row. So we'll click this, hit continue. And then we want to look for our spreadsheet. Okay, then we'll hit continue. And now we need to map our fields again. Last name and the phone number. And we also have email validation as well. So if you wanted to do that, there's also home address validation as well, if you wanted to add those fields. So we can do phone score. We'll get that from lead identity check. And the phone active value, which will be yes or no. And this just gives you a good idea of how your leads are doing. So you can take an average on the spreadsheet and see what your average phone score value is. And then here's the master value we'll put here. And that'll be a pass. Okay, and then we will test the step. Okay, and that got fired to our spreadsheet here. So we're not using any email value. So let me just delete these for now to keep it simple. And then you would have a whole list of rows here that would be either a pass or a fail. And then you would, let's just do one, for example. This would be fail. And here you can have an idea of how your then here you can highlight this column and do a graph, or you can do some kind of formula to see how many real or fake leads you have per given source. So you would want to set up one for Facebook, for Google, and then you can see how each source is faring. So if Facebook, for instance, is giving you 80% real leads and Google's giving you 50% real leads, then obviously you probably want to put a little bit more budget into Facebook. So there's a whole bunch of ways you can use lead identity check. We also have an is mobile validation tool, so you could see if the phone number is mobile, and then you might want to send that down one path and send them a text message. That way you're not sending non-mobile numbers to your SMS tool. You might want to validate that the email address is real, and that way you can send that down one path and only send emails to valid email addresses. There's tons of ways that you can use LIC to improve your lead generation. I hope this is helpful. I'll see you in the next one.